If you grab hold of the resurrected Jesus, you will see life in a different light. You will see life in a different perspective. You see, we as Christians, we are used to the soft Jesus, the pansy Jesus, the one that came to die, the one who humbled himself even until death. You might call him a sissy. Yeah, he was soft. He was a punk, a sissy, soft, but he was still Jesus. That's what we Christians are reflecting on. The Jesus that came and died. I'm not calling Jesus a punk. I'm just illustrating something. As we Christians see Jesus. We see Jesus as the Son of God who came to die for our sins. We see Jesus as the one that the Roman soldier was kicking and beating, put a crown of thorns on his head to the point where they cut his skin and he was bleeding. We see the Jesus that took a beating with the thongs, that every time the thongs hit his body, they pulled skin off and he was bleeding everywhere. We see Jesus that carried the big heavy cross to be nailed on it and die on it. We see Jesus as the Roman soldier stabbed him in the side with a knife and blood and water spilled out on the Roman soldier. And the Roman soldier said, yes, indeed, this was the Son of God. We see Jesus with the two thieves on the side of him hanging on the cross. And one of the thieves said, if you are really the Son of God, save yourself. We see Jesus as a soft Jesus. But let's look and see what John seen after Jesus went back to heaven to be on the right side of Almighty God. Let's just see what John seen. Let's try to visualize what John seen. John really didn't expect to see Jesus like this. He expected to see Jesus how he left. The lamb that was supposed to be slaughtered, or the lamb that was slaughtered. That's what John, I can imagine, was waiting to see. The same Jesus. But oh my goodness, when John saw the conquering Lion of Judah, let's see what happened to John. Revelations chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 12. This is what John says. As I turned around to see the voice, remember, Jesus took John to heaven. As I turned around to see the voice that was speaking to me, and when I turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And among the lampstands was someone like the Son of Man, Jesus, dressed in a robe, reaching down to his feet, and with golden sash around his chest. His head and his hair were white as wool, as white as snow. And his eyes were like blazing fire. His feet were like bronze glowing in a furnace. And his voice was like the sound of rushing waters. In his right hand he held 7 stars. Out of his mouth came a sharp double-edged sword. His face was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead. Then he placed his right hand on me and said, do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, and behold, I am alive forever and ever. And I hold the keys of death and Hades, which is hell. Look at the Jesus that John saw. First of all, I know he was expecting the Jesus that died on the cross. But Jesus did a 360. John saw, like I said, the conquering Lion of Judah. He had on a long robe reaching down to his feet, a golden sash around the chest. His hair and his head were white like wool, white as snow. Remember when Jesus was on the Mountain Transfiguration and his clothes just became bright and super white like anything? There was nothing Couldn't have got any whiter than how Jesus' clothes turned white when he was on the mountain of transfiguration. Peter was with him, John was with him, and James with him. It's just something about white. And his eyes were blazing fire. His feet were like bronze glowing in a furnace, and his voice sounds like the rushing of waters. In his right hand he held 7 stars, and out of his mouth a double-edged sword. His face shined like the sun in all its brilliance. John said when he seen the resurrected Jesus, the conquering lion, he couldn't take it. He fell as though he was dead. That means he fainted. Oh, he couldn't take the brilliance of the resurrected Jesus. What the Bible said. His face alone was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. On the hottest day, go outside and look up and look at the sun. You have to really look at it through the crack of your fingers. It's so bright, you can't really look at it. That's what John saw. If not brighter, his face was brighter than the sun. John couldn't take it. John fainted as though he was dead. And Christ touched him and said, do not be afraid. Christ was always telling us, do not be afraid, even when he was on earth. He always said, fear not, do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the first one that God made. And God will never make another one like me. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, and behold, I am alive forever and ever. I hold the keys of death and Hades. So when somebody comes to me and say, should I fear death? I said, no, you should not fear death. Because God holds the power of death. So if somebody died, they didn't die accidentally. It was their time to go. No matter how you die. Car wreck, however you die. Terrorism, blow up, whatever, plane crash, old age, shot in the head, stillborn, miscarriage. No matter how you die, it was meant for you to die that way. But we see that John witnessed the conquering lion, the resurrected Christ in all his brilliance in heaven. John seen him and could not take it because he was expecting the lamb, but he saw the lion, blazing eyes like fire. Can you imagine that? Voice like the rushings of water, like all the oceans just rushing. Oh, that was how Jesus' voice sounded. His skin glowing like bronze in a furnace. Have you ever seen bronze burn in a furnace? It's glowing. And I am not like most pastors. I don't mix with the world. Most pastors are scared to tell the people that Jesus was a black man. He wasn't white. I don't know why pastors are scared to say that to their congregation. The youths of nowadays, they don't want to worship a Jesus who's white, because when they say or even think of the word white, they think of the slave oppressors. They think of the evil government that's holding them down. So they don't want a Jesus. They don't want a God that's white. Even down here in Jamaica, the Rastafarians will tell you, we don't want a God that's white. White God is an oppressive God. He's a slave driver. But they don't know the real God. They don't know Jesus. Jesus wasn't a white man. He was a black man. Even when he was on earth, he was a black man. He wasn't white. Jesus is from the bloodline of Adam. Adam was a black man made from dirt in Africa. Jesus' stepfather, Joseph, was the lineage of David. David was a black man, second king of Israel. Solomon was a black man. Abraham was a black man. They're all in the same line of Adam. Job was a black man. Job 30 verse 30. Job said, the skin on my body is black. It was black man back in those days. So Jesus was black. If these youths nowadays know the rightful color of Jesus, they'll have a different outlook on life. They won't act the way they act. They won't act rebellious because somebody tell them about a white Jesus with blonde hair and blue eyes. What did this say? His eyes was blazing red. You never seen a white man with blazing red eyes. Only a black man you see like that. Skin of bronze. Bronze is a dark color metal. Jesus was a black man when he was on earth and when he went back to heaven. So if God decided to come down by himself, he will choose the color of a black man, not a white man. And I have nothing against white people. It's just that the Son of God was black. And John saw this. John himself was black. All the disciples was black. Mary was a black woman. Moses was a black man. The whole Bible is black, not white. But I'm not racist, like I said. So to wrap this up, John seen, I'm not even going to say John seen Jesus. John seen the physical form of God. Remember, God has no physical form. He's just a spirit full of light. But John seen God in the physical form. Because remember, Jesus is God. When he went back to heaven, God gave him authority over everything. So John seen the God in his physical form. Powerful. That's why John fainted. He couldn't handle it. Remember when Moses went up to the mountain to see God? He didn't go see the Father. He went to go see the Son. Because remember, after God made Jesus, Jesus made everything else. He was the one that was with the Israelites coming out of Egypt. Paul said so. A cloud by day and a cloud of fire by night. It was the rock, Jesus. When Moses went up to the mountain to see Jesus, what did Jesus tell him? Hide behind the rocks, because my brilliance will consume you and destroy you. Moses only seen the back of Jesus and he couldn't handle it. It changed his whole complexion when he came off the mountain. The Bible records Moses was like white as snow. His hair was white as snow. Seeing the back of Jesus changes Moses' whole complexion. So you could imagine what John seen face to face. That's why he fainted as if though dead. We cannot see the glory of Jesus in his raw energy. We will die. We have to be spiritual like him. That's why Jesus said, you will see me when you're dead. And when you're resurrected to come to heaven, you will see me in my brilliance. John seen the Lion of Judah. Moses also seen the Lion of Judah because Christ hadn't came to earth yet. So we as human beings, as Christians, when we take this outlook of Jesus, when we take Jesus from Revelation, not Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, remember that Jesus died. When we take the Jesus from Revelation, we see life, you would see life in a different perspective, in a bigger perspective, a more mightier, a more powerful perspective. If you grab hold of the conquering Lion of Judah and not the lamb that was came to slaughter. My brothers and sisters, Jesus is the author and the finisher of our faith. Let it be that way. He started you. He's already finished you. The Bible said God goes to the end and finishes it and come back and watches it flow. As a Christian, your life is already made out. You're the only one that could mess it up. Walk like Jesus and you will reach your destination and you will reach your purpose in life. Every Christian has a purpose. I'm fulfilling mine right now. So with that being said, my brothers and sisters, if you like this message, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And hit the notification bell because I will be dropping more of these life learning lessons that could teach you how to be a better person, better father, better mother, just a better person overall. Be like Christ. Have the mind of Christ and everything will go smooth. If you have something you want me to talk about, like I always say, just drop it below in the comment box and I will gladly answer that. But you have to give me a little time because I have to consult with God to give you the right information. I don't give you the information out of my brain. I give you the information what God gives you. So if you have something to me that you want me to talk about, drop it in the box below. So that being said, may God's people be blessed in this pandemic nonsense. Keep your head above water. Keep your mind elevated on God. The Bible said, the person that thinks about God constantly, God will give that person constant and perfect peace. And we need that peace in this pandemic. Because I see people going crazy. People are drinking alcohol, dying. People are thinking about drinking disinfectant when this virus is just a simple common cold. You keep your immune system up by eating alkaline foods like callaloo. In America, you call it collard greens. Green vegetables, fruits, alkaline food, spring water. That keeps your immune system up because this virus is just a little bit higher than a flu virus. And if you have any sickness in your body, it basically upgrades the sickness and you die. My sister died like that. Not from corona. She died about 3 years ago. She was a diabetic, high blood pressure. She caught the flu. The doctor said her body couldn't handle it and she died. So this coronavirus is a little step higher than the flu. You keep yourself healthy, keep yourself clean, you won't catch it. So with that being said, may God richly bless everybody. You know my motto, world love. I love all people, all three races, black, white, and brown. May God richly bless you guys. And for you non-Christians who are paying attention, please get baptized. Trust me, once you get baptized, God will open your eyes to what's going on in the world like he did me. He will give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. If you just simply take the dip, he will put his spirit inside of you and open your eyes. You'll be powerful. So with that being said, may the rest of your day be blessed. And if you're in quarantine, this is the time to enjoy the family, reconnect with your family, especially your wife and your kids, women, your husband and kids, and just have a good time. This is something that God is doing. Even though man unleashed the virus, God still is in control. Always and forever. May God richly bless you guys. Love from the heart. One. God bless.